Warning, this podcast, website, and associated social media accounts are intended for audiences of legal drinking age. We do not advocate overconsumption or the abuse of alcohol. Never drink and drive, drink responsibly. And please remember to always take what we say with a grain of salt. After all, we are just some dudes with some brews.
We started out by crawling out from under the thumb of the man. The lovers of God with dad bods, just trying to feed our fam. Go sit right there and grab a beer, you know just what to do. Throw it back, get hammered, and listen to dudes and brews. Yeah, this time of the year, it's like dead for me. I don't know. Do you guys have like ups and ebbs and flows, like?
Yes, we do.
Seasons that are busier than others?
Feast or famine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not that bad, is it?
Yeah, sometimes it can be. Right now, we're a little bit slow.
Okay. Is that normal, like in the summer? Or?
Not really. It's been kind of a weird year.
Okay.
Yeah, we're usually busy spring through fall. And
Gotcha.
fall, the bottom falls out. And then spring, it's like, here we go again.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it's because everybody's getting ready for the holidays. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's the economy currently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would affect you, especially freight. Yeah.
It does. It affects
The economy's
everybody.
not very good, then you're not bringing in stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. But I'm glad that it wasn't too crazy for you today.
No, it wasn't. I'm also glad.
I didn't, because, I mean, honestly, with it being as hot as it is, I mean, even though you're driving a truck, I'm sure it's not comfortable. Because you got to get out and unload the pallets, I'm sure.
Yeah,
still,
everyone's
right?
like, oh, you got air conditioner in your truck. Yeah, while I'm in the cab.
Right.
And my stops are so close together, it's like as soon as I get in the truck, start cooling down, it's time to get back out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
It
and
depends.
then it's usually, I wouldn't say massive loads, because like I said, the only experience I have is with working at Best Buy in the warehouse, which we would unload 15 pallets.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's smaller loads, 2 or 3 pallets for a person.
Usually, sometimes it's one pallet. It may be 6 pallets.
And you're the one unloading it all, or do you make them do it?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have to unload it. I have a lift gate sometimes, so.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
People like you order a new kegerator and you have
Yeah.
no way to unload it, so you pay extra for a lift gate.
Oh, I got you. The company or whoever orders it pays extra for that. Okay.
Either you or the shipper.
Right. Yeah, because I just remember like just literally just walking onto this giant trailer and just wheeling all of them out on pallet jacks, and I mean they're all like 7 feet tall, wrapped in Saran wrap with all the electronics on them, and yeah. So obviously a lot different than what you do, since you do it all locally and it's all smaller stuff. It seems like
well,
smaller
some of it's not
businesses.
smaller, but
I just assume it's all small business stuff. The big box stores, I just assume they have their own freight.
oh no, we
companies, I don't
haul
know.
for Best Buy.
Oh, really?
We go to the DC in Ardmore.
Oh
We
yeah.
have a guy that pulls it. Sometimes we may have 3 sets going up there.
Oh,
A set is
really?
doubles. Yeah.
Oh, dang, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Here lately, it hasn't been that busy.
Right. Oh, well, yeah. Well, man, that's cool. It's been a while, but we did that trip to Arkansas, and I had a blast.
I had a blast too.
We had a lot of really good beer, so we need to share some. So let's crack one of these open. Pick which one that you want.
Well,
Which
I
one you
think
wanna
we
start
should
with?
start with the lightest one,
Okay.
which is the Flyway Light. Says it's a Pilsner. It doesn't quite remind me of a Pilsner, but
Yeah, but I haven't had it in a while, but I remember enjoying it still nonetheless.
oh yeah, it was fantastic. Very refreshing.
Yeah. The what I thought was funny is I think, day one when we went to here you go. Day one when we went to what was supposed to be Apple Blossom Brewing Company,
Oh man,
and it was closed.
what a disaster.
I think Flyway is the company that's going to be in there.
That is the company, yeah.
Yeah.
Notice that on the door. Coming
Yeah.
soon, Flyway, and I'd never heard of Flyway.
No, I mean, not that I'd heard of like hardly any of these
Well,
companies.
and I thought it was cool when we went to the bottle shop trying to check out what we could bring back that was unique for here. We spotted the Flyway.
Right. I was like, oh, dude, we have to try
Yeah,
it, since
I was anxious.
we went through that. What was it? I swear it was like 45 minutes detour because I didn't know what I was doing with Uber.
Oh, it's okay. Well, the lady didn't know either. She didn't know it was closed. So
Yeah, you would think that a local would know the breweries if they're open or not, but I don't know how that works. So
Yeah.
I've never been a driver like that, so I don't know.
Nor have I.
But brother, I appreciate you. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
So they say it's a Pilsner, but you're right. It's only 4%, which is nice. I mean, it is a little hoppy, so I guess, I could see why they call it a Pilsner.
I like it. I just thought a Pilsner should be a little hoppier than that.
Really?
But
Okay.
I'd have to pull up the guideline.
What would you, if you weren't to call this a Pilsner, what would you categorize it
I would
as?
call it an American light lager.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Because I think it's hoppier than a light lager should be.
Well, and maybe that's where they get the Pilsner from.
I mean, because that's basically the biggest difference, right? Just more hops.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spicy hop, if you will.
Right. So did you already rank this one on Untappd when you checked it in originally?
I think I did, and I kind of felt bad after because I dogged it pretty bad because I just thought it should taste a little different. However,
It's fine.
it's a delicious beer,
Yeah.
and I could drink this all day long.
Right,
I
right.
can wear that out.
So this is the thing, is that when I rate these, I always rate them in the moment. So it's like, how am I feeling about it right now? And there's sometimes I'm just not feeling one, or I'm feeling it more than I should. And like, I know it's very situational for me, because I'll drink like, it's like yesterday when we were hanging out, we drank those reds, and I'm like, oh, these are great. And then we drank the Oktoberfest, and I went back to the red and went, this is not as good as that Oktoberfest.
Yeah, no, not at all. Well, you can also kind of jumble up your palate too.
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting how that works, like so closely, where I'm like, I can enjoy this, but then if I try it next to something else that I just happen to like more, I don't enjoy this as much anymore.
Yeah, and that's understandable. I think we're all that way.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand how that works. But I have to ask, is there what, are you seeing something weird?
Yeah, you gave me something extra, Joe.
Did I give you a little something extra? Let me see it.
It's all right. I'm going to drink it.
That looks like something that came out of the cup was clean.
It was clean. Well, I hope that didn't come out of the beer. That didn't come out of the beer. I'm not fearing. I'm going to drink it.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
I'll get you another cup in just a minute, but I gotta ask. Day one, we did all of Fayetteville. Fayetteville was fun.
It was fun.
What was your most memorable event or location in Fayetteville? I mean, we went to what was supposed to be Apple Blossom, getting lost.
Well, that was quite an adventure right there. I wouldn't say it was my favorite, but it's most memorable.
Oh, okay. We did that. We went to Fossil Cove.
Fossil Cove was neat.
They had the pizza was actually pretty good.
The pizza was amazing. Kind of not really my vibe.
But you got tired of pizza.
Well, we ate pizza every day that we were there, breakfast, lunch, and supper. I mean, a lot of it was by choice, but there's not a lot of other options out there that were convenient to what we were doing.
Right.
So, but every pizza we had was spot on.
But is that different than what we have here in like the North Texas area?
I would say, yeah, man. We can like I was craving wings. We didn't find wings anywhere. Here, you can get wings everywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about breweries, and I go, I mean, our local watering hole, just say when pizza.
Yeah, it is pizza, but because it's easy to make, it's quick.
Yeah, that's true. So you think that's the reason why a lot of breweries has or gear in that direction?
I think over there in NWA, yes.
Okay.
I think so because it's quick, convenient, and obviously everyone there loves it.
Yeah, because I mean, every place was busy and people were eating it.
Yeah.
It was really funny that last place that we went to. I think it was the last night that we were there. We were at Bike Rack, and you're like, I'm tired of pizza. They sent us to a place that was supposed to have wings, but we got there so
We had
late.
pizza. Wings were gone.
And that's another thing that is weird to me is that people do like they shut down the fryer early. Bro, if your establishment's open, keep the kitchen open.
Well, you also have to know your surroundings and your clientele.
Mm.
And if you've been in business long enough, and you know that, like, man, at 7:30, people they're not going to eat anymore. Why keep it going?
Yeah, I guess it does help if you have a clientele like that for sure. We were out of towners.
Yeah,
So not their typical clientele.
that's correct. That's how I see it.
Really, I'd never thought about it because I mean, I've ran into places to like that here where there's certain venues that like the kitchen will close early. Like I think the pub in McKinney does that where the kitchen closes at like 10 or something, but the pub's open until like 2.
Yeah, I have not been to that one.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's on the square.
Now I've been to the Square. We went to Square Burger.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So on the square there in McKinney, there's 2 places actually, and the other one I've never been to, but I heard it's great. It's the Celt.
I've not heard of that either. I'm more like super local.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Obviously.
I mean, I've got family in McKinney, and I lived in McKinney for a short stint. So, like, it's an Irish pub in downtown McKinney. So, I know your wife was talking about going down there and hitting up the bottle shop. I'm like, if we're going to be there,
I'm down for
hit up
that.
an Irish pub,
I
hit
am
up the brewery there.
always down for that.
But have you heard, it seems like Franconia is trying to either sell their business or sell their building.
I have not heard that. I know that I'm pretty sure that they went through some changes a couple of years back maybe. And
Okay.
I don't know where I was at, but I had some of their beer. And it was great. So I went and bought a 6-pack, and it was not so great. And I don't know if I just got a bad batch.
Yeah.
A buddy of ours said, no, man, if you're going to Franconia, you have to, or if you want their beer, you have to buy it there.
Oh, really?
So maybe it's a packaging issue. Hopefully
I'm not
they've got
sure.
that fixed now. I'm not trying to dog the brewery. You know, the beer is good, but that 6-pack was not good.
Really, like the last one I had, and it's the first time I'd ever bought cans from them because they did bottles for the longest time.
This was bottles.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
See,
So
I
it's been a while.
bought cans, and it was a German Radler.
Okay.
It was like a pineapple Radler or something. I mean, it was all right. It wasn't bad. It didn't blow my socks off, but it was all right. Yeah, they used to be a staple there in McKinney. I mean, they used to host, or not host, but sponsor the Oktoberfest. I mean, they used to do all kinds of really, really good beers. I'm surprised. I wonder if their head brewer just left or something because they were.
Couldn't tell you. I know that I had some of their Maybach that I really liked.
Oh yeah. I want to say it was like a Dunkel or something. It had like an old school weightlifter on the front of it. I want to say it was like a.
Doesn't ring a bell to me.
But either way, I remember them doing really, really good beers, and it's you never want to see places go out of business.
No, never.
So, which I mean, honestly, did you hear about the brewery in San Francisco, Anchor?
No.
Anchor's in the process of trying to save themselves.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like basically, they haven't filed bankrupt yet, but they're in the process of either trying to find somebody to buy, or I think there's even like a crowdfunding campaign, try to get like the people to kind of own it.
Yeah, I had not heard that, but
Yeah.
if InBev gets wind of it, they'll be owned by InBev.
Something, I don't know, because like they've it's been 127 years.
And they make good beer.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that.
Now, what's InBev? What are you talking about?
InBev, it's the conglomerate that is buying everyone. They own Budweiser now. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so if you look up, just Google InBev, you'll be able to find. Yeah, they
own it, all the big dogs.
Yeah, and they're trying to buy. If you're a successful smaller brewery, that's becoming a large brewery, which is becoming a threat to them.
Yeah.
They want to buy you out.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder how that would work with Anchor. If I don't know. I was skeptical about like some of these other companies buying some smaller breweries. Like Monster Beverage Company bought a bunch of breweries, and then like there's a like Canarchy. I think they purchased Canarchy Brewing Collective, which was like Oscar Blues and Deep Elm and who's the one that does the Maduro Cigar City or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
it is Cigar
yeah.
City.
Just a few, like they bought Canarchy Collective, and it seems like it didn't really change a whole lot. Deep Elm is still pumping out the same stuff. They're actually even doing more in-house now, so you can get brewery exclusives. I thought it was going to be detrimental as far as like a growth perspective, but it looks like they're just funneling more money to them, which is what I want to see.
Well, that's what I want to see too, but I also really want to see it stay local. You know, for how do I word, like a mom and pop brewery, I want to see the money stay, you know, and of course if they get bought out, they're going to be happy with the amount they get, but
Right.
but still, you know.
No, I mean, I get it. It's nice to go in and you have that the old Cheers vibe when you walk in. Everybody says hi and whatnot.
Yep.
So it does feel good. Hopefully that kind of stuff doesn't change. But I'm going to crack open another one. And what did you think about Crisis Brewing?
Crisis.
That was the really little one that we were like basically sitting on top of each other.
Oh gosh,
It was real little and it was real long. Where it's like we sat here on this tiny table and like the guys are ordering. We're like,
oh yeah, my mind went blank because we hit a lot of places and drank a lot of beer. Crisis was really neat. I love the hidden, not hidden, but it seems a hidden location. Pretty unique.
Yeah, because that's the one where it's down the park
like down the hill.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. I liked it.
I thought it was funny that lady walking up to us and calling us out.
Oh yeah, the
Nerds.
beer nerds.
Yeah.
Let's see some beer nerd stuff going on over here.
Yes. Here you go. Let me.
No,
grab
it's
you
fine. Let's see what this is.
You're either gonna call out the brewery or call out Joe for being dirty.
Dude, I have no idea where that came from. It's not from the. Wonder if it was on the lip.
It might have been on the lip.
Well, whatever it is, I don't know. Oh, I don't need a rinse.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's gonna harm me, it's already in there. So, thanks, man.
Now, I remember being at the brewery and going to the beer fest and having this beer and it being phenomenal. I don't remember it being this dark. It's a blonde.
This is the Birch Avenue Blonde, Fossil Cove.
Which I liked Fossil Cove, but going to the other breweries, it's a place that I would say still hit up, but the vibe at Crisis was cool. It was also cool that we got to talk to the brewer.
Oh, and the owner.
Behind us, yeah.
The owner
Yeah.
and brewer. That was really cool.
Which I talked to that girl, the associate brewer or whatever, and she said that she was just like, she was just cleaning kegs. And the guy was like, yeah, I could use somebody to help me brew. Do you want to learn how?
That's
And
awesome.
That's how she started, like, oh, cool, yeah, I guess I'll help. I'll just do as I'm told and just follow your direction. But that place was tiny.
It was pretty small, but busy AF. It was packed.
Yeah, I honestly, I wish it was like an extra 4 feet wide. Give me
Well,
extra
me
4
too.
feet.
But I don't think that he expected to grow as quickly, as he did, which is why he's now brewing out of another location not very far away.
Right.
Remember, we had that
that's
discussion
right.
with
It's
him.
like an offsite.
Yeah.
But they still do some on site. It sounded like they do their R&D on site.
Yeah, they do on some on site, but for mass production, they don't have the space for it.
Well, I think it's 2 barrels on site. I think that's what they started with, was the 2 barrels.
Yeah. But I love the growth rate. It obviously he's got some really good beer, really good followers to grow that quick and have to expand.
For sure. I'm trying to see. Let me see if I can pull up, because I don't remember what we had while we were there.
We had.
It's a good thing we documented everything on Untappd.
Yes, I know that we had an Irish Red. You're talking about Crisis, right?
Yeah. There was one place we had something that was labeled like some sort of a weird red. Maybe that was at Rendezvous Junction.
Oh,
where it was like, it's not necessarily this, it's not necessarily that.
Like maybe a hybrid. I know that Crisis had an Irish Red.
Okay. Which I'm sure that we were getting them because of the club competition. Oh, yeah, it is. We did the Boland's IRA.
Yeah, that's it.
Irish Red Ale, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm personally not a fan of Irish Reds. That's not my favorite style.
Oh, really?
And the beer was okay. It wasn't bad. It's just...
Yeah. As far as an Irish Red goes, they did what they needed to do.
Yeah, they made an Irish Red.
Yeah. Did a cream ale, which was nice, that it was just a standard cream ale, didn't have any adjuncts with it or additional flavors. Most cream ales I've had, maybe it's because of local breweries, they usually have a bunch of stuff added to it. So
some of them they can, yeah. But a cream ale, I just like a plain Jane.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd ever had one outside of that one. So I don't know that I have anything to compare it to.
If you're going to do a flavored cream ale and it's going to, let's say you do a blueberry cream ale, I want it to taste like blueberry.
Okay.
Not paint, adjuncts, you know. And it can be difficult to do. And the bigger you grow, the more difficult it is to add fresh fruit and such because it becomes so expensive. So that's where you start gravitating towards adjuncts, and you got to be careful with that.
Right. Didn't you say that happened to 512? Didn't that happen to their porter? Maybe it wasn't them. Maybe it was somebody else.
I think it was someone else mentioning that someone bought them or changed something, and I think someone bought them out, and ever since then that it hasn't been the same.
Coconut porter or something that they used to do or something like that, and it's like coconut's just not what it used to be. Which, I mean, there's breweries around here that do that. I've seen that change. But their stout was good, and I think I got something different. What is this? Mr. Tickles.
Mr. Tickles. I remember that name. What was that?
Yeah, I know. The name's so stupid. Let's see. It's just listed as a pale ale. Subtle hop with long finish and floral notes. Such a dumb name.
Well, there's obviously a reason behind it, but it kind of makes me chuckle now that I think about it.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to find out. And then but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that and the blonde. Then we walked up that giant hill that I felt like took a day and a half, even though it wasn't even that far.
Oh, where did we go from there?
Because we went to that one that's like
and
it was more of a restaurant. We sat at the bar near the square.
Yeah, we're trying not to get hit, you know.
Yeah.
On the way up there.
The way up there, yeah.
Oh, dude, I know exactly where you're talking about. I remember crossing the street, and I'm walking through in my mind, and I'm like, oh shit, that hill. I know the hill now. It was neat though. It was really neat. The nice neighborhood.
And I was going to say that.
I love the neighborhood.
The architecture up there was awesome.
It was amazing.
Because even that day before we left, when we just went to get coffee, all those buildings downtown Fayetteville, oh man, all that stuff was real nice.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the architecture up there is nice.
Yeah, it's a nice experience.
I don't know if it's
And the shade was also good because it was hot.
Yeah, and that hill was just a little bit more steep than what I had expected it to be. Not that we weren't like dead when we got there. We were just like not what we expected. I'll say that. Yeah. And then we went to that Boston Mountain, I think is what it was called, right there on the square.
That was pretty neat. I liked their beer.
I mean, that's a place that I would go and have dinner. It reminds me of like, not necessarily the way it's set up, but it seems like more of a restaurant that just happens to make beer, is what it seemed like to me. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that by any means.
No, of course not. Now, I really liked the friendliness of the people there. The beer was good. Yeah, it was a neat place.
Right. And then from there, I think we hopped on scooters.
We did hop on scooters.
Do you remember that?
I remember that. That was a blast.
Yeah, because when we went, because I had never done the scooters before, so I was trying to figure out the app, and somebody just walks up to us and starts asking us questions.
Oh, those two ladies. Remember, there was two ladies.
Yeah, because we ended up meeting them.
Yeah, so we're talking about the scooters, and we asked them, and they're like, we don't know. We've never done this before either. So we kind of all help each other out, and we part ways, and before we parted, we're talking about where we're going, and they said, oh, we're going there too. And so we take off, and I look back, and I said, you're going the wrong way. And we show up, and you're like, dude, are those chicks here? And I see those scooters. I'm like, no, man, they can't be. And they're sitting there with their beers already. And they're like, where the hell you guys been?
Right. I do remember that now. Yeah. It was actually a nice day to be out there riding.
It was.
To be honest. Because I do remember, because I gave them shit because they were locals. And I go, oh, so you knew all the local routes.
Yeah, exactly. That was so funny.
Which I wonder if Google, you know what, now that I think about it, because you can change Google to say that you're walking or whatnot. I wonder if there's a scooter route that says, "Oh, go down this alley."
Yeah, I think there is.
What that'll be quicker than, because we were just driving. We were on the sidewalk next to highways.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, it was an adventure, and I'm kind of glad we went that way.
Yeah.
It just made more conversation when we got there, so they could talk shit to us.
For sure. A little unfair, but
a little unfair, but you know.
And then what was that brewery that
man? What was the name of that thing? It was really small.
Let me look, because that one wasn't very big either. When you went to the back to go to the bathroom, you walked right by all the tanks and everything.
Everything, yeah.
Which I thought was a weird setup, but
and that's when we discovered there actually was a back entrance by where we parked the scooters. I'm like, I think we can go here. No, let's go in the front.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, I didn't know either, but you know me, I'm brave and just.
Yeah, I follow directions. That's good, but it doesn't always make for the most fun adventure. I'll tell you that. Wait, did I write it down? Oh, here it is. It was Columbus House.
That was Columbus House?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me look. Oh, I should write brewing after it.
Wherever it was a neat little place. They had good beer, cozy, different.
This, like, the symbol looks familiar. Let me look at the pub. Yes, this is it. Because this is the bar that they were all sitting at. It's hard to get good images online of some of these really small places. But yeah, this is it. So I mean, the place was nice. We had a beer. It was good. I mean, nothing. I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't anything to write home about. But I wasn't like disappointed with the stop.
Yeah. It was okay.
Grabbed the beer, enjoyed it, and then headed on. And then we went to that other place where we sat there forever. I felt like, where they had like a brew store. They were selling like brew equipment inside of it as well.
Oh, you know what?
It's a weird
that was my least favorite.
Yeah.
Because they were selling extract beers, and which it's okay, but you could just tell the beers were all made from extract, and it's just a different vibe, different flavor, a little lower quality.
Right.
But it was a homebrew store. It's almost like a homebrew store that decided, well, let's brew some beer, sell the beer, show them what they're going to be making.
For sure. No, that's what it made me think of. Like, hey, we have these kits. This is what it tastes like. But the place was large for if that's their.
It was large.
That's the model.
Yeah. Oh, that's where those those guys were hammered. You remember those guys that were hammered?
Yes. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
That's what was funny about that. And I feel like it took forever to get there on those scooters. It wasn't as close as I thought it was.
Yeah. I think this is where my memory starts fading on that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, because we'd been out
It'd been out for a while.
for quite a
that
while.
day. So, real quick, what do you think? The Flyway Light or the Birch Avenue Blonde?
Flavor wise, definitely the Flyway Light.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a lake beer, day beer, all day drinker, the Flyway Light.
Call them lake nectars.
Okay, yep, it's a good name for it. Definitely the Flyway Light. The Birch Avenue Blonde, it's not a bad beer. Just something about it I'm not keen on.
Okay.
Would I buy it again? Yeah. Would I go out of my way to buy it? Not really.
Okay. I mean, if you're there, you get it in
Sure.
a taster or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But then after that, we went and we met our buddy Victor.
We
at
did meet Victor.
Social Project.
Social Project. That was a really fun time, and Victor was a cool dude.
I wish that they would put that on the passport. It wasn't one of the passport locations.
Well,
It just happened to be in town where we were staying.
if you remember to bring your passport. Joe got his passport stamped.
I got you got your stamp the
Maybe
the
once
first day.
or twice.
The first day. Yeah, we're some buddies are wanting to go up there again and go trail riding, like ride the trails there in Bentonville. So I'm gonna see what I can do to try to catch the rest of them.
Hey man, that would be great, which would lead you to Bike Rack.
It would, and Bike Rack was awesome.
Loved
that
Bike Rack.
Crack it.
Sure
That
thing,
was
man.
the best beer we had the entire trip.
It was amazing. Still amazing. Let's
So-
see if it's still amazing. I bet it is.
So yeah, because we hit up Bike Rack and talked to Brock, and Brock was
Brock
the nicest guy.
was super nice.
Everybody up there was actually like awesome and hospitable. Like everybody was cool.
Brock, we met Summer, we met,
Yep.
oh, what was the other lady's name? I can't recall her name, but
See, you're way better with names.
they were just so welcoming.
Yeah. Everybody over there was super cool, and they make some hella good beer. Like,
Hella
just
good beer.
Their light lager is like, it's the best like craft light lager I think I've had.
So the thing for me, yeah, I agree. As far as like an American light lager, it's just called beer. Or is it light?
No, it's just-
Classic American lager.
oh, it's just American. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
but it's just called beer. Hey man, I need a beer. What do you want? Beer. Like literally just the one that's called beer. But what I found impressive was not just that the beer was amazing. This is the first brewery, small craft brewery that I've ever been to that sells their beer in a 12-pack.
Yeah, because everything else, it's just 6-packs.
With the plastic
Yeah.
lids. This is an actual
The
carton.
only other time I've
12-pack.
seen 12 packs is like if they do like a mix pack of something, like a mix and match. Like I think Tubbs
Bro.
did a mix and match at one point. I think not.
Oh,
Really did a
I'm
mix
sorry. I
and
take
match.
that back. Tups. I forgot about Tups doing that.
But they do mix and match. I'm saying, hey, they're gonna nut up and say, hey, here's 12 of just this one beer because I know you're gonna want 12 of them.
And they're right.
You 100%. 100%.
We need to try to get
So
them.
it's still as good as you remember.
Oh yeah.
So
Need
you're
to-
saying when I go in October, I need to bring you back some?
yeah.
Okay. No, I mean I totally will.
I'll send a keg up there, see if you can get it filled.
I'm sure they sell it by the keg. I wonder what that costs.
Well, I'm talking like corny keg to see. I doubt they would do that, but
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I doubt they would fill a keg. I'm sure there's like, they have their version of TABC. I'm sure that would prevent that.
I know that in Colorado, some of the breweries, even on their website, like bring your keg and we'll fill it. So the club did a Colorado trip in 2020, and this is during the height of COVID season, and I borrowed kegs from friends, and I ended up bringing 4 torpedo kegs, 2.5 gallon,
Okay.
and no one would fill these kegs because of COVID.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Like, normally this would be no problem. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, really?
But you can't blame me for trying. And this
Right.
one place, the guy was like, and this was Grimm Brothers. Their beer is really good.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, I got these kegs, and he says, well, we can't fill them because of this. Oh, I got you covered. Yeah, well, we can't fill them because of this. I said, I got that too. Bro, I've got everything. Yeah, but we need this. I said, dude, I've got the kegs.
I got that, buddy.
I've got the Sankey tap. I've got the jumper lines. I've even got the sanitizer. Basically, you're just telling me you're not going to fill these kegs. And he said, yeah, that's kind of what it is because of COVID. And I said, well, all right. And he said, you know what, man? I have never seen anybody come up here as prepared as you are. He said, come with me. So he takes me to the back and breaks out an unreleased stout and gives me a bomber of the stout.
Oh,
And he
nice.
says, but don't check that in yet because it's not released.
Yeah.
So I still have that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I still have that in my cellar. And there was I went back in. I was like, this is so cool. I want to crack one open. So I said, do you have a can that you can sell me? And he said, yeah, I don't know. And so he dug around and he did find a can. And he said, take that too. I said, I'm willing to pay. He said, no, you just take that with you. And somehow during the move from the old house to the new house, because, I just moved,
Yeah.
man, the can started leaking around the seal. So I was forced to drink it. It was at a time that everyone was either at work or out of town or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to try to hoard it
Yeah.
and salvage it. I'm going to drink it while it's fresh.
Right.
It was phenomenal.
It was great.
It was great.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. So yeah, I do still have that bomber, letting it age a little bit, which
Okay.
it's should be coming around pretty soon, and wait for the right time.
So it's been two or 3 years now?
Yeah, this was in spring of 2020.
Okay.
From when I think we went in March.
No, so like right when everything was closing down.
Everything, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. We did a trip up there in like July of 2020. And it was, I mean, we were in the Denver area. We didn't go just for that. We went to go backpacking, but we stayed the night in Denver to check everything out. And everybody was cool. Honestly, most places were really cool. They allowed us to do stuff. It's surprising if you went in March that places were even open.
Yeah, there were, of course, some of it we had to stay outside. There's a really large brewery up there. They have a couple of locations. I'm not going to call out any names, but one of them is in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I can read between the lines.
They were kind enough to let us in to buy merchandise, but wouldn't serve us beer.
Really? Okay.
So I thought that was a little shady. So
Yeah, that seems odd.
I no longer follow them.
Really? Okay. Because we had some that were a little bit more to the rules, I would say, than others. There were others that were like, "Well, if you don't care, we don't care."
We kind of had that experience. There was something, for instance, Little Machine,
Oh, cool.
fantastic little brewery. I don't know. I haven't checked into them recently, but I hope they're still in business. They had some really good beer.
And where are they at?
They're in
they in Denver?
Denver. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we only hit up a couple of places. Like, we hit up a place called True Brewing.
I've not heard of that
Oh
one.
my gosh, I don't think you would like the vibe. It's like everything was real dark. The lights were real low. It gave like this like black metal vibe. If I remember, they only do sours. So they have like their own little niche. The biggest thing I didn't like is that whatever they made like a table, and the table was sitting on like kegs, like the tabletop was, and it was low. So it's like my knees were hitting it.
Oh yeah.
So it was like, I mean, that was kind of inconvenient. The beer I remember was okay. Didn't knock my socks off, but I mean, it was all right. But down the street, we went to another place called Bear Brewing, and Bear was really good. Then we went to like Great Divide was awesome. Then we went to a place that was up a little bit further north, like right off the trail. And
Oh,
we went into a
gosh.
place that did like, it was like a restaurant that did beer. Downstairs, they let you sample everything and get to know everything, and then you go upstairs and you can eat, and then you can buy the beer up there. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. I like it.
That was a really nice vibe. It was almost like it was almost like a gift shop did downstairs with like a tasting area. It was cool.
That sounds neat.
Yeah.
We hit, I don't know how many breweries we hit. I'd have to go look, but
Right.
but man, we were all in. And then I liked it so much. Anna surprised me last year. It was around this time last year.
Mhm.
She calls my work and says, "Hey, man, I need to get a week off for Vernon." I had no clue.
Okay.
And so I'm talking with her one evening, just this is August, so July of last year. She says, "Yeah, you're off next month, 1 week next month anyway." I said, "No, I'm not." And she said, "Oh yeah, you are." "No, I'm not." And she said, "Yes, you
Oh,
are. Call
yeah.
your boss." So she had arranged for me to go back to Colorado to hang out with our buddy David McPeters.
Yeah.
He's a former mash runner. He moved away for work purposes.
Mhm.
He's still a mash runner, always
Right.
will be.
Yeah. I've
Dude.
met him.
He and I, in 3 days, hit, I think it was 18 breweries and had 63 new Untappd check-ins. So, bro, we were hitting it hard.
Yeah, you were in and out of them places.
So it's funny how you and I, all we could find in Arkansas, NWA, Northwest Arkansas, was pizza. All we ate up there was wings.
Oh,
We had
really?
wings. And that last night, that morning we woke up discussing what we're going to do. And he says, "Bro, I'm going to tell you one thing. We're not eating wings."
That's funny, because dude, I need to do a real like proper trip up there. That's just for breweries, because we had 1 day there, and we just hit up a handful.
Yeah, 1 day is not enough.
But I know, like when me and you went, you're like, bro, we can't be sitting here hanging out if we want to hit up all these things. Even when we were there in
Yeah, I learned that the hard
Yeah.
way for what was supposed to have been an annual birthday thing.
Oh, was this trip the first
No,
annual?
this was in 2019. That was the first annual where I rented a van, hired a driver, and anyone that could make it, friends, club members, whatever, they were welcome.
Oh,
and so
did you do it in a DFW?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
So I had this plan of all these places I wanted to go, and I think we hit 3 breweries in total because we're having a blast. So we stopped at Trader Joe's digging for beer. We stopped somewhere else digging for beer, unique stuff.
Yeah.
Hit a brewery, hit another brewery. We stopped at, I think we stopped at Meddlesome Moth
Okay.
to pig out.
Yeah.
And Meddlesome Moth has a pretty good selection
Right.
of unique beers if you want some different check-ins and what have you.
Yeah.
Peticolas is right around the corner from Meddlesome Moth.
Right.
And I don't remember where we stopped first, but we only had 3 breweries under our belt by the end of the day. And I gotta admit it, I don't remember the drive home. That's why we hired a driver.
Right.
It was my birthday bash.
Exactly. Yeah, because honestly, that's the thing that I like about beer is not just the craft behind it and what kind of flavors that you can get out of it. It's the hang.
It's the hang, the camaraderie, the friendship, meeting new friends, trying things that maybe you would never have tried before.
Right. Meeting new friends, even if it's
always a blast.
Some random brewery dog or brewery baby.
Yep.
You're meeting new friends, right?
I know where you're going with that.
Hey, I will say, speaking of, because we went to Bentonville Brewing, and that's where the place was nice. It was huge. It was when we met, I forget that dude's name, but that Uber driver that we had twice.
We did have twice, and he's a beer geek as well. And
He is.
I thought you got his information.
I mean, he follows me on Instagram.
Well, so you can reach out to
Yeah.
him and make a connection,
Right.
because I'd like to go back and hang out with the dude while he's not at work and buy him a beer
Right.
and hear some of his story.
Yeah, honestly, I might do that. I was thinking about hitting up Brock to go see if he wanted to go ride a trail.
I think he'd be down for that.
I think he would be too, because I see him on Instagram and like that dude rides. I mean, like he put up 100 miles one month.
Oh, hell no.
I go, that dude rides. And I've seen him ride, and he has like this thing where he like brings his kids, but his kids are on like a trailer basically that attaches to his bike.
I have a friend here in town that has one of
So
those.
he's out there. So I think he would be down for it, but it'd be cool. I want to say the guy's name's Chris. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna call him Chris just for namesake now. But it'd be cool to meet up with Chris too and buy him a beer.
I would love that.
Yeah. But Bentonville was huge. It was a huge venue. That's the one where you got down on the floor and played with that dog.
You know what I did?
Yeah.
I love that dog. The dog come up to me and
I mean,
loved
if
me.
you like
and
animals.
I do. And I just, I have a huge heart when it comes to nice animals.
Right.
So laid down on the floor with him, hugged, and we rolled around and played, and it was a
Right.
blast.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody that we met was friendly the entire time.
The entire time, yes.
Especially when we went to because we met that guy in the overalls at that brewery, because when we told the bartender that we were
Oh, dude, that was one of my favorite places. Social.
no, it wasn't Social Project, because that was where Victor was.
All right, then it was another one
Oh, let me look.
where I met a new friend.
Natural State.
Natural State, that's it. Ashley Cap
Yeah.
that works there.
Yeah.
Really, that was one of my favorite places. The beers were all good. That dude that we talked about, that we're just talking about now in the overalls.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can say it, if you look up hillbilly, his photo would be. He's the epitome of a hillbilly.
Right.
Country
Guy.
Country. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not a hillbilly, but
Yeah.
he kind of has that. Like, that's the first thing you see. Like, dude, that's a hillbilly right there.
Right.
And I think he kind of
He embraces it.
he does
for
embrace.
sure.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
For sure.
That persona. But he also makes beer, and he has a name for the beer, like
well,
brewery.
the brewery is Stud Duck Brewing.
Stud Duck. Yeah.
Which it sounded like, basically talking to him, it sounded like they got homebrew setups.
Yeah.
That they're doing and selling.
But
Which is
he
crazy.
was really nice, and they were. That was just such a blast, man. Being
Yeah.
there.
As soon as that dude heard that we were homebrewers, he's like, "Well, I gotta give you a tour."
The ears poked up.
Yeah, I gotta give you a tour.
Yep.
So that means I gotta make sure to wear my Mash Runner shirt one day at least while I'm out there,
For
so
sure.
that I can represent. And one of the biggest things that I enjoyed, because breweries around here they're not gonna do this. I feel like they nutted up and said, "We made an Indian Pale Lager." They don't try to gear towards marketing and call it a cold IPA. They called it what it is and called it an Indian Pale
Oh yeah,
Lager.
yeah. IPL.
And that damn thing was
It
phenomenal.
It was phenomenal.
That place was awesome. The people there, I will say, not a knock on the venue, not a knock on the beer by any means, but the people is what made that experience as good as it was.
Yeah, unique.
I'll say that.
Really
for sure.
unique, and it was like coming home to family.
Exactly.
I really liked. That's the best way I can describe it. It was like coming home to family that you haven't seen in 5 or 6 years,
Right.
or 10 years.
Right. But one of the places that I think may have had some of the best beer was the first place we hit up on that second day when it was empty, New Province.
I am so glad you brought up New Province.
They may have had some of the best beer.
I think their beer was. Now, for the record, every beer that we had there was good. We never ran across, except for the one place that their beer was also okay, that had the homebrew store.
That one.
It was
and
just
then
mediocre.
There was another one that we went to that in the moment I was like, I'm not feeling it. But I brought some home and I'm like, this is way better than I remember. So I think it was just in comparison to everything else. This is what seems to suck, is that if everybody is hitting like 8, 9, 10 level, and then you get a guy that's a 7, that doesn't mean they're bad.
Correct.
But in comparison, you're like a little disappointed.
Yep.
I think that's what we ran across with Ozarc. Which
Did we hit Ozark?
we did. This was the place, and honestly, I got to be honest, guys. Please buy better tables and like chairs. This is the one where like they had like a long bench, and the bench was like wobbly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may have been blacked out at that time.
No. This was one of the earlier stops.
Okay.
Hold on. It was Ozarc. Oh, I can't even spell. Hold on. Ozarc. I know you remember this place because I had these tables. I hated these tables because you talked to somebody at the bar forever. Some older gentleman. You talked at the bar for a while.
I think I had a picture with that dude.
Oh, with this guy right here. I remember her being there.
No, it was an older guy.
Yeah, you may have taken a picture with
Dude,
the
it was
guy.
an older gentleman and his wife.
At the bar, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. Sure do.
Because I remember having something and you go, this isn't a bad beer, but they shouldn't be calling it that. I want to say it was their Mexican lager. Where you were like, yeah, this isn't a Mexican lager.
Yeah.
Which I feel like you say that about a lot of Mexican lagers. But
Throw me under the bus, Joe.
yeah, I mean, I got to run you over sometimes.
Yeah. It's okay.
But the thing is that, like I said, it's not that they were bad, because they weren't bad.
No, it was good beer.
But in the moment, I don't think it was as good as everything else that we were around. But I brought this one back. Their lager, which I think they advertise it as a German lager. And I go, this is a good beer. So
Is this the one that's a little more amber in color?
We'll pour it and we'll find out. Let me look. Let me go back to my Untappd here and see if I...
Nope, it's not.
Oh, because I just got a pint of the Mexican lager is what I did. You got a few different beers there. I was like, I'm tired of waiting in line. Let me just get a pint, sit down. Which
there was a line, wasn't there?
I'll do that at some places rather than like getting in like worrying about stuff or like holding up a line by trying to pick out a flight. I'm like, you know what? Just give me this and I'll go about my business. Let me look if they call that one a German or not. Hold on. I'm going to see.
Well, it kind of has that vibe.
Does it? I'll take a swig of it here in just a second. I wanted to see here real quick. Is it just the Ozarc lager?
Yep. Hard, honest work beer.
Nope, they're just calling it just a regular old lager.
This classic German-style lager is a fresh take on hundreds of years of brewing tradition.
That's where I got it then, was on the can, because
I'm not going to read all of it. But
no, on Untappd it just says lager.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we were talking about earlier about like being in the moment. In the moment, I feel like I like it more now than I did when I was there.
I definitely do. Yeah, it is really good.
There's something about like when I was there. I don't know if it was comparison what I was doing, but in the moment I was like, the place was okay. There was something about it that I just wasn't feeling.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I'd definitely go back.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying it's not a place I wouldn't like try again. But then that's when we got in that dude's car. Because I remember now, not only was he super cool, we got into a guy's car that it was like all electric.
Yes, it was,
That's
and
the
it
guy
smelled
we
like
got.
somebody dropped a hot turd in that thing, dude. It was awful. But I wasn't gonna bring that up to him, you know.
Bro.
I don't want bad reviews, but man, this smelled like somebody shitting there.
Really, I thought it smelled like BO. And I was like, damn it, Bernie, you should have showered this morning, which I know you did, but
Yeah, it reeked.
yeah, something was going on.
He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
You know, in his defense, one of his previous customers may have had an accident in there,
Whipped
and
ass in there
did
and, like,
whipped ass. That's a good way to put it.
yeah. Well, there's something weird about my car. You haven't traveled with me in my car. My brother confirms this because the Prius, I drive a 2014 Prius C. He drove the same thing when he worked for Best Buy when he was like a Geek Squad agent. Same exact model. He confirmed that I was right, that when you fart in that car, there's something about the fabric that just keeps that fart in for like 2 days. I'm not even joking.
It's absorbent.
2 days later, you're like, I can still smell this damn fart inside this freaking car.
I don't know that I ever want to ride with you.
Yeah. I'm not making it sound fun at all.
No.
But I wonder if they have similar fabric in that electric car.
You know what? Very well could be.
It's weird.
Could be. So you're talking about referring to the guy that picked us up twice.
Yeah.
Was the first time that he picked us up, was that at New Province? I think it was. Because
No, it wasn't that guy, because that guy took forever and he got like stuck in traffic or something.
But he's the one that picked us up twice. I'm pretty sure he is. But going back to New Province, I'm really glad that he got lost and took him forever, because I'm sitting there waiting, getting thirsty, dry mouth. I said, dude, I'm going to have another beer. And I try to avoid big beers while I'm out being adventurous.
It was the first stop.
Save that. Okay.
Yeah,
but I tried
definitely avoid them at the first stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was trying to do, but I kept looking at this barrel-aged barley wine, and I'm like really wanting to try it. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Screw it. I'm going to buy a taster of it.
Right.
I'm so glad I did. That beer was super good. So New Province is one of the breweries that really sticks out in my mind, because, as you know, I'm kind of burnt out on IPAs. I'm done with that,
Which is funny.
But I had to try the IPA. It looked really good, and
That's why it's funny.
It was almost like drinking an orange Fanta in a good way.
Yeah.
For a beer, this thing was just amazing. So then I had to try another one.
Which is funny because I think they didn't they do one where they added tang to it, like the orange tang?
I
like
don't
orange
know.
Juice powder. I want to say that they did that there. And now that you're saying orange Fanta, I'm like, I think this is the place that did that.
Well, I hope they didn't to get that flavor. I hope that it was done with hops.
That you tried that version. I think they had a version of it.
Okay,
that was
yeah.
like limited, and I knowing you were like you stayed away from it.
Yeah.
Just knowing what you like.
You know,
his name was Scott.
Scott.
Yeah.
But New Province really stuck out because the beers were so good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This is him right here. Speaking of, yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Speaking of New Province, another reason they stuck out. I didn't get a bad beer, but I really, all my shirts, because I'm a fat ass.
Oh, get out of here.
All the shirts in my size, they don't have any, because apparently there's a lot of other fat asses that show up and they buy all the shirts that fit me. I wanted the color that's the shirt that I wanted. And you remember, I'm going through and I'm like trying to get this shirt, and the guy's digging and digging and digging. And I said, well, F it. Looks like I'm buying another black shirt.
Right.
But
you ended up getting a yellow shirt, didn't you? What color did you go with at Natural State?
Natural State. It was kind of an orange.
Like an orange.
Orange,
okay,
yeah.
Yeah,
and that was a nice shirt.
I've got so many shirts that are black.
That's me, and the reason is because That's the only one left that fits
Right.
because they always do crap tons of black because everyone wants black.
Yeah.
So now I'm veering off. I want like that mustard yellow shirt.
Right.
It's a great looking shirt.
Oh, well, appreciate you. Didn't
Yeah.
mean to rub it in.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I'm the one that brought it up. Like
Right.
that's why they stick out in my mind.
Right.
But their beer, so, like, I was tempted to bring the barrel aged barley wine, but it's
we'll save
middle of the workday and
well, one, we're gonna save it. Two, it probably is hot right now because it's young.
well, it is young, but the one that I tasted, it
True,
wasn't
but
hot. It was ready.
because I didn't taste it. So.
But I have a few left, so I'm going to save one.
Did you end up giving one to our buddy?
Yeah.
I know we were. That's
Well,
one of the
he
big
was in
reasons
mind when
why.
I bought these. I was like,
Right.
I tasted that, and I got to get one of these
for sure.
for him.
No, I mean that's his style. That's what he
That's his
enjoys
favorite
the most.
style.
I will say one of the better venues that we went to. It was a little unfortunate there was construction around it, but I really liked the venue for Rendezvous Junction.
Rendezvous Junction.
It's where we sat down around the bar. The bar was real big.
Yes, and
Had
they had some
big
good beer
sign.
too.
And yeah, 'cause we had even the little taster glass contraption, whatever the hell you call it. Like even that thing looked cool.
Oh, the flight.
Yeah, whatever the hell you call it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're just I don't know. Yeah, the flight
the carrier holder.
Yes, the flight holder. I'm gonna stick with that.
I like that place a lot. Dude, there's another one we went to that I can't recall. Maybe I'm thinking of another place, but Rendezvous Junction, the venue was so nice and it was so big that it made me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
one right
it.
here. Yeah.
It made me feel like I was in a chain
Oh, okay.
because they did such a good job. It's so massive, so it
Dude.
kind of felt a little like a chain.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, they had the upstairs seating area. It seemed like some company, it seemed like, brought their employees there, and they all went upstairs. And that's when I noticed, oh, that's what there's more seating upstairs,
Yeah.
which was
But it was
Which
a
was
really
nice.
nice venue.
like
And-
really, really nice. I do
Yeah.
see what you're saying. Because of how
Yeah.
nice it is, it makes it go from like hole in the wall to like a little bit more
which I love
fancy.
the hole in the wall vibe. This was a great place.
Yeah.
Whomever did this spent a lot of money.
Right.
It's a beautiful venue.
I want to see if I think you put pictures of it on here, didn't you?
Which one?
Of the new province.
You will have to go way back to find that.
Or not
Oh,
new
and
province,
we met
I
the.
meant
So there's
that's the
that.
guy.
Yeah, that is the guy.
at Ozark. This
Yep.
is the guy.
That is the guy. He and his wife,
Yeah, this is
Yep,
the other
that's
picture
Rendezvous.
of Rendezvous.
and
Dude,
also
the place was nice.
it was
just
super nice.
massive.
Yeah, and also going through there, I met the really nice lady at New Province.
Oh, she did the boozy truffles.
Yep, Speakeasy Truffles. She was really sweet.
That's right. The boozy truffles. Yeah,
that's
that lady.
Ashley.
Yep. That's the guy that took us to
Yeah,
the
when he
back. I
found
forget
out
his name.
that we're brewers, he's like, "Oh,
Matt
guys, you
Chris or
gotta
something.
come back here.
Yeah.
Let me give you the tour."
See,
and I don't
that's that
remember her
girl
name.
at Bike Rack.
Yeah, I can remember Summer's name, but I can't remember her name.
There's that dog.
The dog. Yep.
Hold on. Maybe this is all about bike. Nope, that's when we went to Crisis.
That's Crisis.
See, look, these guys are in line.
Yeah.
They're like right on us. Which not like anybody was rude or anything.
No.
Like
No.
in
It
the
was
way.
good.
Yeah,
West Mountain.
That's the one that was downtown. This was,
There was two. We also went to Boston Mountain.
that's the one with the homebrew store.
Okay. That's the one that.
with yeah, here. It was here. I think. No, this was that Social Project. Because Social Project was empty. There was like 4 or 5 people there.
Are you sure that's not Boston Mountain and that's not the 2 guys behind you that were hammered? And the Homebrew store is like in that window?
Possibly. I don't remember.
Victor.
There's
a cool dude.
Victor. Yeah, dude. He was cool.
I love that. Like when he's
Very
like, man,
trusting.
when he was very trusting. Well, we were too. But you know, beer geeks, or you can just tell.
Right.
And so when he finished work, drove us back to our pad, and we hung out and shared some fantastic beers, bottle share. I'm really happy there was no bloodshed.
Oh, after riding
on the e-bikes.
Because we went through some, I wouldn't say it was like shady, like as far as like the sidewalks were messed up or anything, but we had to duck around some trees, go over some curbs. Like there were some spots,
do some jumping, and yeah.
There were some spots that were a little bit questionable, and I just remember you always going, "Oh no, I'm gonna hit your ass. I'm gonna run you over."
Dude, I was leaving black marks. I promise you.
Oh, really?
You thought I was kidding.
I didn't feel like I was going all that fast.
Well, yeah, but I'm a lot heavier than you are.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
We appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Dudes and Brews. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you're on, we're on there. We have a YouTube channel, Dudes and Brews. We would love if you would subscribe there as well. If you are subscribed and you want to help us out just a little more, unsubscribe and resubscribe again. It sounds funny and stupid and kind of obnoxious, all of the subscribing and resubscribing and stuff, but it helps in these little algorithms games for like climbing the charts, because again, we are organic and we are where we are because of you guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. Shout us out. We really do love it when you guys interact with us, when you add us, mention us, put us on your stories, tag us, all that fun stuff, all the stuff the kids are doing. We like grabbing that stuff and we put it up for you guys. So we appreciate you so much. Keep having fun, drinking them brews, hanging with them dudes. Tune in next week for another episode of Dudes and Brews.